Hello everyone, how are you all doing? Now today is going to be my League One predictions. It's going to be completely wrong come the end of the season when I review my predictions. I'm not going to be very good as it's Birmingham City's first season in League One and therefore my first season really looking at League One. So I don't really know the ins and outs of it yet. I'm going to find it difficult, but I've done some research. I sometimes do go into detail about these things. I'm just going to make it not quick, but I don't want to be speaking on about one club and then having less time to speak about another. So I'll try to make each as even as possible. We'll start off with Crawley Town though. So as I'm speaking about Crawley Town first, I've obviously got them rock bottom of League One. The only reason why I'm really doing this is because a lot of people have also put Crawley in the relegation zone, and when I look at Crawley, I do understand why. Obviously, Crawley got promoted through the playoffs of League Two, and that was when everyone was writing them off anyway. Everyone thought that season they'd be fighting relegation to go into the National League, and Crawley got promoted, but a few players from the playoff final at Wembley back in May have gone on to join new clubs, so I can't see them staying up like that. Also, I have got a bit of a supercomputer. It's just a little bit of Python code which I managed to find on the internet. If I can, I'll try find where I got the code from, but I got it years ago, so forgive me if I can't find it, but if I do find it, I'll leave a link to the website which I found it on. But the supercomputer also agrees with me and says that Crawley Town will be relegated with 42 points. I will just state quickly before we go on to the 23rd place team, I haven't done a point system for this, but obviously the supercomputer automatically goes through all the matches and then creates a table out of that, so I've managed to include some of the points here, well all of the points, sorry. So in 23rd place, I have gone with Mansfield Town. They're another side that was promoted from League 2, and they're another side that I think will be relegated. The signing of Lee Gregory is a good signing. He will have an impact, but is he too old for League 1? Obviously, he has had higher level experience, so that is the area in which it will work for Mansfield, but he's the only one where it kind of stands out for me, and I just don't think that Mansfield have enough to stay up, but hopefully for them they can prove me wrong. The supercomputer suggests that Shrewsbury will be finishing in 23rd place with 43 points. In 22nd place then, I have gone with Burton Albion. Last season, Burton were very poor throughout the season, just about surviving because Cheltenham were just a bit worse than them. Obviously, I can remember looking at Cheltenham Town, they hadn't scored within their first 10 games, I think it was, of the season, maybe even more than that. But Burton have gone within 22nd. They have had a takeover though, which kind of edges me towards that Burton could stay up, but I need to fill up the relegation spaces somehow. So I've put Burton in 22nd, but I think the takeover will work out long term. As for the supercomputer, it's put Mansfield Town to get relegated in 22nd with 45 points. And in 21st, and the final team to get relegated from League One, is Cambridge United. For me, they've got Gary Monk as the manager. Obviously, I know him from Birmingham City. He had a great impact at Birmingham City and really worked wonders at the club in a time where it was going through some difficulties. Obviously, we had the 9 points deducted from us. But I think overall, Gary Monk's a good manager, but Cambridge just about survived last season. They've signed players like Gary Gardner, also another one which I've seen at Birmingham City. Good on his day, but I think League One, lower League One, is his level. I just really need to fill up these relegation spots, which is why I've put Cambridge here. Don't know too much about them. They could possibly stay up, but I've put them to go down. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Stockport County to go down on 47 points with a minus 22 goal difference, and that will be because the 20th place side also has the same points. In 20th place and just avoiding relegation, I have gone with Bristol Rovers. I would love to see Bristol Rovers in the Championship. I would love to see Bristol City versus Bristol Rovers, but I don't think that's going to happen for a little while. I think while they will be fighting to stay in League One. They have made some promising signings which could get them pushing above the relegation zone and maybe finishing in mid-table, but I've put them just to stay up. The supercomputer also agrees with me on this one, with Bristol Rovers also on 47 points, the same as Stockport, but with a minus 12 goal difference. In 19th place then, I have gone for the third side that I'll be talking about, which got promoted from League 2, Stockport County. I think they'll stay up. I think they will probably stand a chance of finishing higher than 19th. When I was doing a rough draft of the table, I put them around mid-table. I think they have a strong side. I think they have a good side. A good manager as well in Challoner. Signings such as Louis Barry from Aston Villa will be good. Obviously, Louis Barry's only on loan, but he knows the club from last season when he got promoted with them in League 2. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Cambridge United to finish in 19th with 51 points. And then in 18th place, I have gone with Shrewsbury Town. They'll be alright. I don't think they'll get relegated. Pre-season could have been better for them, but there have been some positives to take from it. They've got a mixture of youth and experience in the squad, which could be really helpful for Shrewsbury in terms of getting motivation from obviously the experienced players, helping the younger players, not only on the pitch, but also on the training ground. I think 18th place for Shrewsbury is maybe a little bit harsh for them. I think I could have put them a bit higher, but they won't get relegated, they won't get promoted, so around that area will do. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Leyton Orient with 52 points. In 17th place then, I have gone with Exeter City. Exeter last season finished in 13th place, but their new signings so far have not really impressed me too much. When I was looking at them, I can just remember seeing the list of names that I haven't really heard of. I'm sure by the end of the season I'll be able to tell you a lot more about them. But Exeter, they did actually have a good end to the season last season, losing only 1 in their last 10, and that was on the final day of the season to Oxford United, who would be promoted to the Championship. So Exeter City could be a dark horse. The supercomputer says that Charlton Athletic will finish in 17th with 53 points. In 16th place then, I have gone with Leyton Orient. Leyton Orient, they won League 2 2 seasons ago, and last season they finished 11th. I think they will just drop a little bit, but I think overall they won't be too bad. They've made a signing of Lewis Warrington, I think it is, from Everton. He's the most promising out of the signings which they've made, which I've seen. But I think they'll finish in 16th, and they won't be in a relegation battle, but they won't be in a promotion battle either. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Exeter City to finish in 16th for 57 points, and with a minus 13 goal difference. In 15th place then, I have gone with Stevenage. Stevenage last season were a very decent side, looking to try and fight for the playoffs. In the end, just couldn't do it. Obviously, with promotion from League 2 2 seasons ago, you expect to be able to take on that momentum, I think. I think there's a lot of expectation for sides that do get promoted. I mean, like I said with Stockport County, if it wasn't for some other sides that I had to predict, I would have put them around mid-table. But I think Stevenage did do well last season. Obviously, Steve Evans left as manager position to take over at Rotherham United, who were already relegated by that point. But I think Stevenage will finish around mid-table. They won't be in a playoff race, but they'll be all right. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Burton Albion to finish on 57 points with a minus 6 goal difference. In 14th place then, I have gone with Northampton Town. Similar to Stevenage, I don't think they'll be in a threat of relegation, but I don't think they'll be fighting for promotion either, and I think they'll just be one of those sides who just cruise in mid-table for the entire season, to be fair. As for the supercomputer, it has gone with Stevenage to finish in 14th with 60 points. In 13th place then, I have gone with Charlton Athletic. It's an improvement from last season, although they have lost last season's League 1 top scorer Alfie May, who went to Birmingham City. They won't have someone as prolific as him, but I think on the pitch they're not going to be too bad. I think they do have options. For example, they signed Matty Godden from Coventry. He's aged a little bit, but he does have the experience. He can score goals. Luke Berry from Luton, another player who is past his prime but can have a difference. But overall, 13th for Charlton. Will they take that, their fans? I think they do expect to be around that area. They'll want to push for promotion, of course, but I think some will be happy that they won't be relegated, to be fair. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Wigan Athletic to finish in 13th with 61 points. In 12th place then, I have gone with Wigan Athletic. Wigan's a strange one because they do have experience at winning League One and winning promotion to the Championship. But ownership over the past few seasons has been a problem for them. I think it's okay now. I tried reading up on it. They had a takeover last season. So, yeah, I'm not too sure what to expect from them. Wigan fans, if there are any of you watching, let me know about the takeover. Not too familiar with it, but yeah, I think they'll be okay. I think they'll keep on building season by season, and they will get back to the Championship eventually, I'm sure. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Reading to finish in 12th with 62 points and a goal difference of 0. In 11th place then, I have gone with Lincoln City. Last season they missed out on playoffs just about, but Lincoln are a good fighting side. Since they got promoted from League 2, they have had some lower mid-table finishes like 16th and 17th, but you know, overall they are an established League 1 club now. And playoffs is of course possible for them, but I think they will finish around that mid-table position. The supercomputer says that Barnsley will finish in 11th with 62 points, but a positive 2 goal difference. In 10th place then, I have gone with Blackpool. They're an interesting one because there is positivity around Blackpool at the moment that, you know, Neil Critchley can lead them back to the Championship like he did just a few seasons ago. They've made signings such as Ashley Fletcher, but they're ageing signings. They're signings which will be good now, but they're going to have to make their changes soon. And so what I see is, from last season when they finished in 11th, I think it might have been, they've kept quite a few of those players. And I think they'll go one better and go 10th. I can't remember whether they did finish 11th, but they were somewhere around that region. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Lincoln City to finish in 10th with 63 points. In 9th place then, I have gone with the side that Birmingham City will be facing on Saturday, Reading. They've had a decent pre-season. Most recently they beat Hull at their stadium. I think it's the Select Car Leasing Stadium now. But they're a decent side, still under the ownership of De Jong. I hope I've said that correctly, I'm not too sure. But I'm basing this prediction off whether a takeover does take place. I really hope it does for Reading because it's a great club. I enjoy going there. You know, their fans are decent. They're not too rough, which is always nice. But hopefully they have the takeover, and I am basing this prediction off whether they do get the takeover, which I think they will, and I think they will be alright. But the supercomputer says that Rotherham will finish in 9th with 64 points. In 8th place then, I have gone with Peterborough United. Obviously, the loss of Captain Harrison Burrows will be significant, along with Ronnie Edwards as well. 2 players that do have potential with future seasons to come. And obviously Peterborough were going to have to let them go at some point to go on to bigger and better things. But I think it'll be an interesting season for Peterborough. It can go one of 2 ways. They can either rebuild from the players which they've lost and bring in similar players who will work the same role, and they could get another playoff position, or they could not capitulate. Sorry, I struggle with that word. But it might not be as simple as what it would have been last season or 2 seasons ago. Johnson Clark-Harris has left them too, although he was ageing. He was still a goal scorer for them, so that will affect them. But I think overall Peterborough will miss out on the playoffs for the first time since being relegated from the Championship in 2022. As for the supercomputer, it agrees with me. It's gone with Peterborough on 67 points. In 7th place then, and just missing out on the playoffs, I've gone with Wycombe Wanderers. Matt Bloomfield, second full season in charge of Wycombe Wanderers. He knows the club. He's obviously played with the club, and now he's managing them. So he will want to, bring the motivation back to Wycombe. Obviously, they were in the Championship in 2020. They were having a great time. They just about got relegated. They could have survived if they'd just picked up a couple more points. But they will just miss out on the playoffs. As for the signings which they've made, Tyrese Backinson or Bakinson, not too sure how you say it. Some people say Backinson, some people say Bakinson, so I'll just say it both ways. I think that he is the standout signing for them. Obviously, the central defensive midfielder does have potential, came from Sheffield Wednesday. But as for the supercomputer, it's gone with Wrexham to finish on 72 points. In 6th place, and this is where I start to feel a little bit unsure, I've gone with Rotherham. I was thinking after last season they might not be able to even get playoffs, so I placed them around 9th from what I can remember, and then I looked at their transfers. They have actually reset the squad quite well, so I've put them in 6th. But I think anything can happen with Rotherham. They had a dreadful season last season where they finished 24th in the Championship. And they've built a lot of the team around the signings which they've made very early on in the season, which will work or could work very well for Rotherham. Obviously, making early signings, players get to know each other, get a full pre-season, which is very important. So it could be good for Rotherham United doing that, and it's very clever by them, I think. Obviously, the manager, they've got Steve Evans. He's a decent manager. We've seen what he's done at Stevenage. They've got a very decent team, and I think they will just about get playoffs, but I think it will be tight. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Northampton Town to finish on 73 points and just getting the playoff position with a positive 2-goal difference. In 5th place then, and another team which I was a bit unsure on, was Wrexham. I think there's a lot of hype for Wrexham, and I don't want to not sound cocky, but I don't want to sound annoying in a way. I think Wrexham are a little bit overrated. I put them in 5th because I had no other side to put in 5th. But I think all of the hype around Wrexham, absolutely brilliant. Deserve it. Ryan Reynolds doing a brilliant job. They've had 2 promotions in a row. Whether they'll get playoffs, I'm a bit unsure. I think if I was to do these predictions again, I'd put Wrexham just outside the playoffs. Whether they'll get triple promotions, don't think so. They won't win the playoffs, I don't think. I think they'll be in League One for another season. As for the supercomputer, it's gone with Blackpool to finish 5th on 73 points with a positive 10-goal difference and to win the playoffs. In 4th place then, I have gone with Barnsley. Since relegation from the Championship in 2022, they've had 2 playoff finishes. They've lost in the final and the semi-final, so really been unlucky for Barnsley, given that they've had a decent side. They've made signings such as Conor Horahan. He will be a big player. Played for Derby last season and obviously won promotion with them, so he has experience in League One. He's got experience in the Championship as well, so he's a decent player. They will get playoffs again, but they won't get promotion, I don't think. The supercomputer says that Birmingham City will finish in 4th with 76 points. In 3rd place then, I have gone with Huddersfield Town, and I've gone with them to win the playoffs. Obviously, relegated last season. They've lost a couple of big players, but one which stands out to me, who they have managed to keep so far, is Michael Hellick. Obviously, I've got him in my EFL fantasy team. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. And I think that if he does stay this season, all of a sudden Huddersfield have got some safety in defence. Whether they'll get promoted, I hope so for them. Obviously, a lot of teams in League One or just as neutrals will want to see new teams getting promoted. Fair enough. But I think Huddersfield will get promoted and win through the playoffs. The supercomputer agrees with me with Huddersfield to be in 3rd, but obviously not to get promotion. But Huddersfield will end on 82 points according to the supercomputer. In 2nd place, I have gone with Bolton Wanderers. They lost in the playoff final to Oxford, and I think they're a very good side. They will come back stronger, I think. The squad's hungry to get promoted. Pre-season hasn't been awful for them. They've beaten Baggies and they've drawn versus Fiorentina. 2 very decent sides there, and Bolton showing that they can compete against those sides. Signing of Scott Arfield, although he's 35 years old, could be very decent for them. You know, he's played for the likes of Rangers. And so I think Bolton will get automatic promotion this time. The supercomputer agrees with me and says that Bolton will finish on 91 points, in 2nd place. And then the champions of League One, I have gone with Birmingham City. I'm going to be biased. I'm going to be positive. I really hope that Birmingham, win the not the Championship. I hope they do one day, but I hope that they win League One. They've made exciting signings such as Alfie May, League One top scorer last season. I don't see why they can't win as champions. A lot of sides, will want us to stay in League One. Fair enough. That doesn't really bother me. I think people will say that there's a lot of hype around Birmingham and they'll go straight back up. And maybe we'll stay in the League One for a couple seasons. But you know what? I'm going to be positive. I'm going to back my team. First place, Birmingham City. The supercomputer says that Wycombe Wanderers will win the title on 96 points. And so there we have it. Those are my League One predictions. The Championship predictions will be coming. I'm a little bit tight for time, actually, because I'm recording this Thursday evening, and the season for both League One and the Championship starts tomorrow, so I'll have to get that sorted. Don't worry, though, it will happen. But those are my predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments, wherever you want to put them. If you want to put them on another video, feel free. Just as long as I see them, I'm not too bothered. But thank you all very much for watching, and keep right on, everyone.